And I remember when I was young and I said to my dad, oh yeah, I want to play football. And my dad always used to say to me, it's not possible.
Beckham with a multitude of options. Oh, what of those!
He used to always just say to me, you know, in the end, your pride will kill you.
Too ambitious at moments like this. It's Sheringham, it's goal! We're waiting for something to happen, and the Sandy goal, surely now, it's goal number
You
one.
came close to dying.
Yeah.
How close were you?
Dr. Stone, he said, Macaulay, you need to get yourself into hospital as quick as you can. They found a mark on your kidney.
Welcome to Legends Corner. And today we're in the heart of North London, baby. And we're going to be speaking to an amazing footballer. And his name is Andrew Cole. But millions of you out there know him as Andy Cole. You're going to learn everything about him. Come and join me. Welcome to Legends Corner. Right, we're going to get into your senior football career. Premier League-wise, most prolific striker, one of them. But do you feel like you were underappreciated?
Yeah, I'm not going to say and lie because we're going to be very
Because you are
open and honest.
one of the best strikers in this country. And also, you tell me, no penalties, no free kicks.
Yeah, penalties and free kicks. It was that wasn't for me. And I know some people look at it and say, "Oh, being arrogant." It's not arrogant because ultimately, if you go out there believing you can do something, you know, which I believed I could do, I believed I could do it in open play, and that was to score goals because that's what the game is based on. Free kicks and penalties, that's a bit extra. It's an extra caveat. When it comes to getting the respect and things like that, I know I don't. I know I've never been given the respect that other players have been given and been spoke about glowingly throughout the years for doing exactly the same thing that I've done. Because however you look at it, I've scored goals just like everybody else. I've not taken penalties, I've not taken free kicks, but the way people have perceived me throughout the years, like, oh, we're not quite sure how he's done it.
You've done it because of skill and the hard work.
There you go, you know. But I mean, I used to realise that when they used to talk about like the top goal scorers in the Premier League, I mean, at that stage, I was second or third at that stage, and it used to go 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm like, so what happened to 2? If I was number 2, what happened to number 3? If I was number 3, and then I just used to say to myself, I didn't play the game when I was playing. Yeah, I'm not playing the game. I'm not playing the game now when I've retired. So whatever you want to do, you do. Because as people always talk about stats and all those, well, I'm in those stats. You know, if you want to talk about the history of the Premier League, I will be in the history of the Premier League as well. So if you don't want to give me my credit or respect now, I don't really care anymore.
But on that, I think you were the first for goals and assists, one of the first to have a certain amount of goals and assists in one season.
That's right.
Yeah. So there's a respect there. Numbers, people can't hide the numbers. They can't hide. They can't hide. And that's for me the way I look at it. The numbers and the quality speaks for itself. That's the thing for me. It's like it's almost like a blind spot.
Yeah, but they use it for whatever they believe they want to use it at. It's just like all the records that are being surpassed now as centre forwards and, like you said, goals and assists or whatever it may be. I only realised not too long ago that the majority of those records, if I wasn't first, I was in the top 3. But when someone's coming up to surpass them, or all of a sudden, oh, my name comes out because someone's going to go past it. Why did you never talk about it when no one was getting close to it or anything? Because they didn't want to. Like I said, for me personally, I look at the game now and I go back to what my dad used to do when I was younger. You know, all those kind of things resonate with me now because my dad always used to say to me, you'd have to be 10, 15 times better than your white counterpart for someone to look at you and say, okay, yeah, he's good enough or whatever it may be. And yeah, that has been the case for me. And like I said, all I do now, I have a little laugh to myself because I can't be erased.
Yeah, history, you're there, etched in. It's impossible to move you. But I feel sometimes when I look, I say the forwards that played in around our times, I think it was the hardest for you guys. It was really hard. I think you had, obviously top defenders all
Yeah,
around and things like that. You had the kind of robust kind of way of playing. You had to play football at the same time.
Yeah.
So you'd come against defenders who do a bit rough, bit tough, but are playing football, things like that. Yes, we may not be able to play at the back, but I think if that was the rules, we would adapt it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of adapted. It would have been easy to adapt and start playing from the back. That's normal. These guys think, it's different football. But I feel we played in the hardest, especially for me and you, the hardest time in football, I feel, worldwide. And I think most players around the world in and around our age would probably agree as well.
Yeah, I always say that now. I think that what we were playing in then the Premier League or in European football, whatever it might have been, and I do look at our generation and say our generation was possibly the toughest generation. Naturally, before that, of course it was tough, because there's quality players before that and there's quality players before that. But when we started to play, if you look at all the best teams, they all had good players, all had good centre-halves or midfield players or whatever it may be. They're all of a good standard. And I think the game will always evolve, but the game has changed a hell of a lot as well.
With the iconic shirt at number 9, how did you feel at Newcastle? Did you feel this is a special shirt, or you just wasn't really bothered about it? And I'm here to Newcastle, I'm playing football.
It was a strange one.
It's a big fee as well, massive fee. It's like 1.75.
175.
Yeah. Which is it's big money there, man. Look what it is now.
But unknown as well.
I was moved on.
I was an unknown.
From Bristol City.
From Bristol City. I remember when people were like saying, "Who is this kid? Newcastle spending 1.75." No one really knew anything about him. Yeah, okay. Heard that I was a problem at Arsenal. That's why George moved me on to Bristol City. He did well at Bristol City. Bristol City were a struggling team. League Two, they were struggling. And who is this kid? So when I went there, I remember speaking to Kevin, and he said, "Look, obviously I want you to sign you and all that kind of stuff." I said, okay. And I was very, very hesitant. I was saying to myself, nah.
Did you like Kevin?
Yeah, when I spoke to him,
yeah,
not a problem, not a problem at all. But I remember Lee Clark basically changed my mind in the end. And Clark used to call me and say, "Come on, Coley, lad, we'll look after you. I'll look after you. Don't worry about anything." And I remember saying to Clark,
"Yeah, look after you at the bars, more like."
Yeah, but he was so good because we used to play 21s football together and all that kind of stuff. And I remember saying to Clark, "Clarky, it's near Scotland." I remember saying it's near Scotland. I'm comfortable. I'm in London. I've been here since I was a kid, and I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
Was you thinking about racism as well because it was so far north?
I'll be honest with you, that never crossed my mind. It didn't cross my mind. I was just saying to myself, it's too far.
Oh, too far, yeah.
And I saw that what was in my mind is Scotland. I know Scotland's not far in that. It's too far. Let me stay where I am. Kind of wait. And then speaking to Clarky, and he said, "Nah, Coley, come. Your school goes there. The fans will love you. And I'll tell you what, I will look after you. Me personally will look after you." And I spoke to Kevin. When Clarky kept saying that to me, I just said to myself, right, I'm going on the basis that you'll look after me, whatever happens. Yeah, Kevin wants to sign me to play football, score goals or whatever, maybe, but at least I know I've got someone off the football pitch who I can relate to.
A long way from home.
Yeah. So I ended up going, signing. Newcastle got promoted. I played, there was 12 games to go. Made my sub as a debut.
You came in 12 games to go?
12 games to go, yeah. I remember I made my debut away to Swindon. And then come on sub. And then the week after I played. And I'm starting, I'm like,
Early.
Yeah, that's in my head. I'm like, they're flying, by the way. They're absolutely flying, Newcastle. They're flying. And then he starts me, and I go on a mad run. I get 12 in 12. I mean, but it's a real good team. The team was basically going to get promoted anyway. And I was wearing the number 8 shirt. I mean, like I said, for me, numbers in football never really bothered me.
Never?
Never really bothered me, so I'll be very, very honest with you. So number 8 shirt, Newcastle get promoted, buzzing, get in the Premier League, and go back for pre-season. Kevin basically said, "Coley, can I have a word you kind of thing. So I said, yeah, no problem. He said, I'm taking the number 8 shirt off you. And I'm like, why? You know, because he goes, I'm bringing in a special player. You know, I'm going to give him the number 8 because that's the number he wears and that. And I want you to wear the number 9. I remember saying, I don't want to wear the number 9. I'm happy in 8.
He scored an 8.
Yeah. And I remember him saying to me, he said, no. The number 9 Newcastle's an iconic shirt. There's been plenty centre forwards that have wore this shirt, but started to reel off a couple of names, Hughie Gallagher and people like that. I'm saying to myself, I'm not really involved. But then when you start hearing about this special shirt, I'm saying to myself, do I really want it? It's one of those ones. Do I really want it?
It could sometimes shirts are heavy on them.
Exactly.
Can be heavy on them.
You know, and I said, all right then, cool. Ain't no drama in the end. First season in the Premier League, I just went on a mad one. Ended up getting 34 league games, 41 in total. And when I say I didn't think about the number once, you know, and then I'm starting to break all these records there in the first season. And then people are telling me about such and such did this in that number 9 shirt, such and such. And I'm like, it makes no difference to me, you know, because if you give me 29, if I'm scoring goals, it makes no difference. But just the aura around the number 9 shirt, in the end, I started to get it, you know, but it never weighed heavy on me. Never weighed heavy on me one bit.
That's a good trait. But also the fans out there are fanatical.
Oh.
I had 1 year up there, and my family are from there as well. But you know, I know the fanatical. You know, when it comes to football, it's just relentless, and they live and for everything about football. But I totally, passionate, unbelievable. But partnership-wise, you know, for the second season, when did Peter Beardsley come in?
So Peter joined Newcastle when Newcastle got promoted.
So it's the second season for you?
Newcastle's first season back in the Premier League.
Then?
Yeah, I played with Peter, yeah.
So with that, obviously we'll talk about later about all different types of partnership. What was that like? Because I remember playing against him. He was an extremely clever player. And, you know, he understood football, obviously experience, and, you know, England and Liverpool. How did me personally, I think, did he develop your game more? He just understood you. You had a great partnership.
Really, really good partnership.
Technically wise.
Clever, very, very clever. Don't forget, I'm a kid. I mean, I've basically come from youth team football, reserve team football, a loan at Fulham that didn't work particularly well, come back to Arsenal, a little bit of time at Bristol City, and then I got to League One. I mean, well, Championship, not League One, went to Championship, and I ended up playing with Peter Beardsley the year after. And I'm like, I'm still learning the game. I'm still learning how to be a centre forward at that level. And just his intelligence. When I see people now talk about, dropping there, get space, or on the half turn, or playing between the lines, the terminology I don't really understand. You know, I'm just a dinosaur when it comes to them kind of things. He was doing that then. He was doing that then. He had that little trick. I remember playing with Peter. Peter said to me, Cole, just stand still. I'm like, what do you mean stand still? He said, you'll get space by standing still. When we were kids getting coached, they always told you, you got to be on the move, you got to move, you got to move, you got to move. I said, all right, I'll just stand still, because I felt like a little bit of an idiot when he said me stand still. So I just stood still. I'm still getting the ball. I'm like...
In and around the box?
Yeah.
Cutbacks and all that. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm like, this makes sense. And just his intelligence, I've always said to you, when I was playing up front, I always try to work off an opposite. I mean, so if the centre-half want to drop off, okay, not a problem, I've got to get to my feet. You want to push out, I'll go in behind you. With Peter, everything was an opposite with him. You know, he knew what I wanted, and I knew what he wanted.
For me, I think he really, really, really helped you technically, and just having that understanding. Yeah. You know, and just knowing where you are. And obviously that was, you know, obviously you had great relationship partnerships later on, but I felt he did unbelievable job.
Oh, for you. Oh, he was brilliant with me. And the crazy thing is, see, when I was like a YT at Arsenal, yeah, what ended up being when I was at Newcastle is chalk and cheese. When I was a YT and that, I always used to get on the ball. I used to get on the ball, go deep, take players on, look to create things as well as score goals. You know, and when I ended up and even Arsenal, they were selling me on the premise that, oh yeah, he won't score enough goals. Yeah, because that's the way I used to play when I was younger. I mean, we sold him because we don't think he'll get 10 goals in the Premier League or whatever it may be. 10 goals a season. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that was my old coach who's no longer with us, Geordie Armstrong. We don't think he'll get more than 10, 15 goals, for instance, in the top league. And we got Righty, Kev Campbell who's no longer with us, Alan Smith, Niall Quinn, Mercer, and all that. Yeah, we don't think he'll be able to do that. So when you look at that, and I moved on, and then changed my game to just being a pure goal scorer, which Kevin wanted for me. Kevin said to me when I was at Newcastle, do not come out the 18-yard box. I'm like, I like to get involved. We said, nah, 18-yard box, that's what I want you to be. Don't come out. We've got players who will deliver you the ball. So I'm like, okay, I'll change up. And that's what I did at Newcastle, just played in the 18-yard box. And I played with players that gave me opportunity to score goals. I would never sit and say, oh yeah, it was all down to me, because it can't just be down to me. But those players give me chances to score goals, and that's why it worked so much, because the players I played with were so talented.
Don't get too ambitious at moments like this. It's Sheringham, it's goal, it's 3-1.
Obviously, Keegan selling you on to Manchester United in 1995, and then he had Les Ferdinand kind of replace you. What did you feel? I know Man United is a huge club, but you're so successful at Newcastle.
At the time, when it all happened, I remember I always said that the only club I'd leave Newcastle for would be Man United. And it, plain as day for him. But I never believed it would happen. And I
was it quick?
Very quick. It was so quick, I wasn't even sure what was going on. That's how the move developed, you know. I remember I got to Newcastle, I do well. First season in Premier League, I get all them goals, everything's hunky-dory. Second season, you know, I'm scoring goals, but not as many as the first season, which you would expect. Me and Kevin have a fallout. I go missing for 4 or 5 days. I go back, I play, and then all of a sudden, you can go. Okay, so the fallout.
Did you push for that, or you just came back for the goal?
No, this is what I want to clear up now.
You went missing for 4 days?
I went missing for 4 days.
Oh, you're like me sometimes.
Yeah.
I went missing for a few days.
Sometimes it just becomes a little bit too much, you know. I didn't play football for adulation. I played football because I genuinely thought I was good at it.
Okay.
I mean, so I played football, I love football, but I didn't want everyone to give me all this love and adulation. I'm doing my job, you know, and when people give me too much adulation, it's like, oh man, this ain't my cup of tea. I'm a quiet dude, man. I'll do something, go home, and that's me, keep it moving. So when I was at Newcastle, I had all the adulation and that. I'm like, I'm not used to it. I remember Kevin saying, embrace it. But if you're a quiet individual just doing his job, to embrace something that you're not used to is very, very difficult. So I basically playing all the games. Me and Peter are kind of like the figurehead of the team up front, but everyone's looking to me like, if Coley don't score, we're going to struggle. So we was on a decent run. We go down to Southampton. We play Southampton on the Sunday. In those days, it's coach.
All the way.
All the way. End up losing the game 2-1. Unfortunately, I get the goal. We're playing the League Cup on a Tuesday against Wimbledon. So we go from Southampton, drive up to London, stay the night, warm down next morning, whatever. And I remember Kevin saying to me when I'm coming out, I'll go in the morning. I said, morning. He said, he said, yeah. Do you fancy it this morning? So I said, I'll be honest with you, boss, I'm a little bit tired. So he goes to me, oh, you really? So I said, yeah, I'm not, I'm a little bit tired. So he said, okay then. If you're tired of that and don't fancy it, basically you can F off.
Keegan said that?
Yeah. So I said, oh, okay, ain't not a problem to me, you know, because I know what time it is. I'm not going to have people talk to me like that because I've been brought up better than that. So I said, okay, not a problem. Turned around, walked in, got a shower, packed my bag, gone.
Wow.
Gone. And then it ended up being my wife, but ended up getting divorced later on in years. I went to her house. And I remember going to her house and that, and turned up, knocked the door, and she answered. I said, Andrew, what? Have you not got a game? So I said, yeah, I've got a game tomorrow. And she said, so why are you here? And I told her what happened. She said, Andrew, you're always falling out with people. I said, I'm not falling out with anyone. He told me what to do, so I said, okay, it's cool for me, but why do you always fall out? I think that's me, you know. If you're going to talk to me a certain way, it's not a problem. I'll keep it moving. And then from there, I didn't go back. They played the game, they lost the game. I think that was a Tuesday. Wednesday, I didn't go back. Thursday, I didn't go back.
Did I know where you... no
one
knows where you are.
No one knew where
you was at.
No one knew where I was.
And obviously, like, internet was not the...
No, exactly.
So it's just phone calls.
Exactly.
And maybe a mobile phone. And
so then I'm just like chilling. I'm chilling with his.
So this is how many days now?
This is
6 days.
No, it's about 4 days.
4 days.
So I'm just chilling in Brixton with her, at hers, taking it easy. I remember I kept saying, I ain't even going back, you know. And she kept saying, man, you need to go back. I said, no, I'm not going back. And the guy who represented me at the time, which is another story, but I wished I never clapped ties on him either.
To Stratford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, said, look, you're going to have to go back. I'm like, no, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm not having people talk to me. So you're going to have to go back. We're going to have to address this problem or whatever. So I remember jumping on the shuttle, because them time it was shuttle. It wasn't train, it was just jump on the shuttle and whatever. So I jumped on the shuttle. Went back to Newcastle. I think this might have been the Thursday or Friday-ish. Come back. Got to see Freddie Shep. He was no longer with us, so got to go around Freddie Shep's house. Kevin's there, Terry Mack's there.
All there.
Yeah, Shep's there, and he's saying, look, we're going to have to sort this problem out. Obviously, what's happened is wrong, miscommunication, blah, 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 blah. Okay, not a problem. So we end up sorting it out. So we end up sorting it out. In order, I end up getting a new contract for all that madness. Signed a new contract. Played on the Saturday against Wimbledon, considering I've not trained. Played Saturday, scored on the Saturday, I think 3-0 or whatever. And I thought, yeah, man, it's all done and dusted. But the relationship was never the same then between me and Kevin. So when the Man United thing come about, it's like, okay. Played for Newcastle on the Sunday in the FA Cup against Blackburn. Game ended 1-1. Trained Monday, warmed down. Go home after training, nothing said to me. Just about to sit down to watch Sheffield United play Man United in the FA Cup. Get a phone call, Stretford. Right, Coley, I'm coming up to Newcastle to pick you up. What for? The deal's been done for you to go to Man United. I'm like, nah, I put the phone down. I thought he'd like having me on. Calling back, said, no, I'm serious. The deal has been done. Kevin's accepted the bid. £6 million. Keith Gillespie goes the other way. I'll be up in the next 3.5 hours to pick you up to get the deal done the following day.
Go on.
That was that. That was it done.
Jeez.
I didn't even have time to go pick up any boots, nothing like that. I remember I signed for Man United on the Tuesday, possibly trained the Wednesday, and if you remember it back then, trained at Old Trafford. Because I had no boots, I was endorsed by Reebok at the time. I had no boots, I ended up training in Umbro boots. And Reebok was so disappointed in me. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I mean, that's how quick it happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think, going back, you know, you played the FA Cup. Do you think the deal was already done? Because obviously, once you get cup tied, did Man United get through the next round?
Man United got to the cup final that year.
So, do you think that was deliberate? Do you think that deal was already in cooking? They could have said, you know what, don't play in this cup.
No doubts.
Because you could possibly be going to that, you know, Man United if it was so far down the line.
Exactly.
So, do you think they deliberately cup tied you?
I don't even know, because I didn't even think it that way, because I was in such a shock to know that, you know, I actually went in this morning. No one said a word to me.
Do you think that deal was done in 2 days? They must have been cooking for about 2 weeks at least.
You see all that. I don't even know if he was even going that long, because the crazy thing is, and why I understood was, I think Sir Alex tried to get Frank Clark on the Friday. And I think he'd been trying anyway previously to try and get hold of Frank. They've had a few conversations, but then he tried to get him on Friday to try and conclude the deal. And Frank had left early, Nottingham Forest, for Collymore. And then I think Sir Alex got tipped off by Joe Royle that me and Kevin kind of like had a set to and the relationship not exactly the same anymore. Took a gamble. Kevin looked at it and said, yeah, why not? It's good money then. £6 million, good money. And then
big money.
You get a young prospect like Keith Gillespie, who was a good player. Why not? You mentioned the Les situation. I didn't even know Les had already been lined up, but then you're bringing in Les for whatever he paid for him, $5 million or whatever, and then you can't like got a ready-made replacement. Yeah.
For me, playing against you, what was your take on me defending? You know, because you had Cantona as well, and then later on you had Dwight. You know, that's for me. I'll tell you what I had to do, but it'd be interesting for your take on it.
My take was the manager always used to say, just keep it moving. I mean, don't stand up against you. You're physically, you're very strong. You're quick as well, but get down the sides. Be agile. I mean, because as you know, most centre they don't want to come out the middle. I mean, I was a guy when I was playing. If I can get it outside the middle, we're good to go. You know, but if you guys stay tight in the middle, it becomes a tougher job for me. So just to keep you moving, and like we've always had a conversation with me and you, I just opposites. Opposites, man. If you want to drop deep, I ain't got a problem with you dropping deep, because I'll just go shorter. But once I know you want to step up on me, you better make sure you step up on me the right way, because you know once I get in behind you,
that's it. Yeah.
The problem. If you look at when we played and I scored a goal against you in last game of the season when we win the league, you know, you make that step.
I stepped up. The trouble is, he didn't step up. Skills didn't step up.
Yeah. And then
everyone else stepped up, and obviously, what's going?
Yeah.
And then he left in. That opened the door for that ball over the top. Because if you look at it, everyone steps up. And then he stays behind. I can't remember who was defending. He was like standing behind them. Just step up with us. Yeah. Everyone else. Then that's when you got in and great control and great lob.
Yeah.
And finished it all off for Man United and winning goal.
So for me, everything was my game was always based on my movement and cause as many problems as I could do for centre half. You know, I know physically I wasn't as strong as a lot of centre halves, yourself, Tony Adams, Steve Bold, or Sam Hippier, whoever it may be. Physically, that's not me. I leave that to somebody else. But when it comes to like little short, sharp movements in behind, or just opening myself up, I always believed I can give anyone any problems. Don't matter if you're the best centre-half in the world or the worst centre-half, I'll give you problems. I try my best never to play flat against you like that. Always try to play to the side of you, and then you say, well, where's he coming from or whatever. So I always try to keep it moving, by using my brain against the best centre-halves I could do.
I always said to every time I played against you, I had to always be aware, obviously with your pace and things like that, but it's the first 5 yards.
Yeah.
I had to kind of really almost anticipate that. Always, sometimes you can't do that. My problem is like back in when I was at Tottenham, I was playing with a lot of young players. So it was almost I was doing 4 jobs. I was covering him, I was covering that left back, I was covering going far, right back. It's like, and I was doing my own job as well, and captain. So you're doing almost like 3-4 jobs, and then try to control the person, whoever is midfield wise in front of me. So you have to be alert, 100% of the time, and be alert all the game, because one slip up. Against obviously when I was at Spurs and pushed up, Scales is not gone with me. You're in.
Yeah.
And that's a winning goal. And everyone jumping up and down at Old Trafford.
As you do.
For me, that day was like, I was watching, just once the whistle went, I said to myself, I've got to have some of this. This amazing feeling of winning.
Because that's what it's about.
Yeah.
I mean, when I hear players say like, "Oh, it's not about winning." If you playing for one of the elite clubs, that's what it is. You're competing to win the championship. FA Cup, European. That's what it is.
Yeah, but at the beginning of the season, you're thinking like that.
Exactly. Don't be thinking about, it's financial. it's not financial, because ultimately, when you retire, you want to look back and say, well, I was fortunate to win X, Y, Z. Not saying, oh, I've got all this money, but I'm not happy. So you play football, you got all this money, you're not happy because why? Oh, because I didn't do X, Y, Z, or didn't have the opportunity to win, blah, blah, blah. That's why we do it. Because we want to be remembered by we won X, Y, Z. I mean, I really look back. But when I do, I look back and say to myself, to have won 5 Premier League titles, should have won 7, possibly 8. I'm talking about the ones that I didn't win, not about the ones that I won. You know, so for me, that's what football meant to me. You know, was competing, winning, you know, forgetting about it, move on and try and win the next one.
Was that Ferguson's kind of mentality? Did that come in because of him, or was that already with you?
I think that was with me anyway, because you can't bathe in the glory that you had last week or whatever. You've got to keep it moving. But when you play for him and when you had the players that are around you, like, okay, not a problem, we won it. What we do next season? Yeah. It's like we win the league on a Sunday or whatever. You might go out for a night out, you have a laugh and joke and whatever. And you possibly in a cup final, turn around and say, it's gone now, we've got the cup final the following week. Yeah, but it's next week. No, it starts from now. And that was the manager as well. Okay, you say, okay, enjoy your night, but don't forget, Saturday, we got the FA Cup final. So don't go too mad. It's like when we played in the Champions League final, we won the FA Cup against Newcastle. He just said to us, hey, enjoy your evening, make sure it's not too late. I mean, I think a lot of us were in our rooms by 1. Because we just knew the importance of the next game.
I mean, it's all about consistency and making sure that your feet are on the ground.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that's the Man United way, wasn't it? You know,
yes.
And you would say Ferguson kind of built that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. The personnel of the dressing room, we all had that winning mentality. We wanted to win.
Do you think he saw that in all the players?
Yes.
Before, obviously some of them, came through the ranks. Do you think, ones he brought in from outside, he saw that? Or do you think he did a dossier on each player to find out?
Definitely.
So what did he find out about you then?
With me, yeah, 100%. When we used to have conversations, he always just sit me down and say,
with a glass of wine?
No, we weren't allowed any wine back then.
Well, he was drinking a glass of wine when I was talking to you.
I mean, he used to always just say to me, in the end, your pride will kill you. And I used to say to him, a man without his pride, what does he have? He said, but you're so proudful. I said, that's where I've been brought up. I'm proud of where I've come from. I'm proud of my parents, where my dad's come from, my mum's come from. And whatever they've gave me, they've installed in me a value of being proud of who you are. I mean, and we used to have so many conversations about just the way I am, I'm very respectful around people, and I'm always saying please and thank you. And a manager's got to watch those kind of things. He's got to talk to other people about what's he like and whatever. And then when he's in your company, you sit down and have the conversation. Sometimes I used to talk to him, and I used to come out and say to myself, why do I feel like he's the only person who can get into my head? But at times I can't get into my own head. Because just the way he used to talk to you on a level. I mean, at times you play football, you scream and shout, and you get all that. But when he's 1v1 with you, he's actually getting into your head because he actually knows what you are as an individual, what keeps that fire burning. I mean, your passion, all those kind of things. I just thought it was unbelievable. I mean, just sitting down and talking to him and coming out of his office at times, I'm like, yo, man, I was going to say this and say that, but the way he eased the conversation, I couldn't get it off my chest. I'll go in there like fuming, and I come out scratching my head and say to myself, but how does he get me from not saying this? Because he was that good, he was that in tune with me as an individual.
Do you think he's the only manager in your whole career that understood you?
Yeah. Completely. Easily.
As that was one of his best traits as well.
Easily.
Yeah. I used to hear about him, how he used to, for birthdays and things like that, for some of the schoolboys and all that, just making sure their parents know that he's still thinking about him. That's his mentality, and he's always been like that. That's what I've kind of heard about that. And, he's just a magical manager, isn't he, really?
He's absolutely frightening. I remember when I retired and that, and him and Mickey Phelan kept saying, right, come on, let's get your coaching budget done. I'm like, oh, Gaffer, Mickey, that's not my cup of tea, that. And they kept saying, come on, Coley, come on. You can come in every day. You can do what you got to do, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it. And like, in the end, I just said, no, it's not for me, coach. But they say, you've got so much to give back. You know, and I'm like, yeah, I know what you're saying. But then I did a bit of my coaching badge. I enjoyed it. And then what frustrated me about that was like, I've got people coaching me that never been at my level, but then telling me how to play centre forward. And I'm like, yeah, okay, if that don't translate with me, I'm saying, so I come away from that, and like I said, falling ill, all those kind of things. He's always been a manager that I pick the phone up to and say, hey, come on, what we doing? What are we doing? How's the illness? Or how can I help you to do X, Y, Z? I'm not sure how many managers do that, or I mean,
it's special.
Yeah, very.
It's special. You touched on it a little bit with the illness. For me, that was a really tough time with, learning about that. For me, just to, obviously I heard, you came close to, dying.
Yeah.
How close were you?
Oh, most probably a day. I'd most probably say a day. Yeah, because I didn't understand what was going on. Did the trip, got back.
Was that the Vietnam?
Vietnam.
No, that was with as ambassador.
Yeah.
For Man United. Okay.
Got back, and I felt a bit tired, but you'd expect it anyway. Long trip like that. Jet lag. You'd expect it, and then just to know that I just started to carry a lot of water retention. I was just like really swelling up, and I didn't understand why I was swelling up. And by the time I got like Wednesday, I'd like put on a bit of weight. But I didn't understand his water retention. Mugged it off Wednesday when I got back. Couple of paracetamols as you do. I'm going to my bed. Went to my bed. Woke up Thursday and like I'm even bigger.
What was that quick?
Yeah, so I'm even bigger. So I remember my ex at the time. She said, Andrew, I think you need to call the doctor. And I remember I said, I'm not going to the doctors, man. We don't do doctors. Don't go to the doctor. I called my old doctor from Man United, Mike Stone. I said, Doc, can you come round and see me? So he said, right, Cole, I can't come round today because I'm busy, but I'll come round tomorrow. So he come round on Friday, had a look at me and just said, no, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Obviously, you're carrying a lot of water retention now, but I'll arrange some scans for you Saturday morning. There you go for the scans on Saturday morning. And I remember Mike saying to me, once they get the scans, they let me know and I'll let you know Monday. Okay, so I said, yeah, no problem. So in this time, like, I'm putting on a lot of weight and when I'm eating, I can't taste anything. And I remember, first time I said this, I remember a friend of mine, girlfriend, she cooks, but she cooks really well. And I remember eating some food she sent me. I'm like, yo, this food's terrible, bruv. I can't, now I'm not having it at all. It's terrible. Yeah, but not knowing that my taste buds are gone. So I didn't know. So I do that, not eating, not really eating because I can't taste anything. Everything I taste is just no taste whatsoever. Sunday, per normal, obviously just getting bigger and bigger. Monday, I get the phone call first thing from Dr. Stone. And he said, Mikoli, you need to get yourself into the hospital as quick as you can. They found a marker on your kidney. I'm like, yeah, all right, but I know I've got something to do. And I said, I hear what you're saying, I'll go on Monday, but I've got something to do. He said, yeah, but you need to get yourself in. Went in first thing. I remember driving in to the hospital parking lot, walking in, and my consultant was actually waiting for me at the entrance. I walked in, I said to myself, why are you waiting for me? In my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm just coming in to see what's wrong. Why are you waiting for me? So he's waiting for me. Oh, Mr. Cole, yeah, Mr. Cole. I am such and such. Okay, no problems. We walk in. He said, right, we're just going to run a few tests, give you a biopsy and all that kind of stuff. I remember telling him as well, I said, look, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have time, He said, don't worry, an hour, you'll be gone in an hour. So, but in his head, he already knows what's going on. Yeah. But in my head, I'm normal. Go in, do the biopsy, talking. And he said to me, have you had any symptoms, Mr. Cole, like hiccups, itchy skin, all that kind of thing? I said, no. Oop. Hiccups started. I'm like, what's happening here? Then my skin just started itching, like I had a million ants on me. Yeah, and then all hell broke loose. There and then the hospital. There and then. So by him keeping me in there for as long as he could do, he was just waiting
for it to kick in.
For everything to happen. Yeah, and then they rushed me upstairs, they settled me down, they couldn't find the vein because every time they put the needles in, it just popped out because I was like the Michelin Man. I was that big then, I was so swollen. Settled me down, sorted it all out, X, Y, Z. I remember him coming to talk to me once I settled it down, and he said to me, said the only thing that got you to where you are today, because basically today was your last day.
Wow.
You're fit. So you've pushed, and then you was at the end of the cliff, and now you're in here. Basically, you fell off the end of the cliff in the right place, and that was the hospital. So if I left it till the Tuesday, that's most probably me done. I mean, so like I said, he settled me all down, all that stuff. I remember explaining to my ex and the kids and that, and they were like, oh my God, Dad, what's happening? And I was in for about 10 days after. Yeah, 10 days, sorting myself out, putting me on dialysis and all those kind of things. And I remember saying to my ex, I said, one thing to do, yeah? Obviously we've got the kids and that. One thing, do not tell my parents. Please don't tell my parents. Yeah, because you know what parents are like, they start panicking. I know my dad was like, he starts panicking and that. And she told my parents. And that was it. My parents were just panicking like, man, I'm like, yo, I'm not even in that position to deal with my parents. Never mind deal with my kids and everything else. So we did that. And I remember my parents coming up. I remember my dad was looking at me and my dad started crying. I'm like, I don't want to be seeing my dad crying at that stage, you know what I'm saying? My mum's the same. I'm like, yo, don't do this. So yeah, 10 days, I come out after 10 days, I'm on medication. And they try every medication, but they know the kidney's gone. Yeah. So they give me medication, and they gave me one medication that I was on for about a week. And I remember saying to my consultant, please take me off them. Please take me off them, because what they put me through, my thought process, I just want to end it. I said, you need to get me off them. He took me off them, and then bang, ended up having a transplant basically a year later, because the protocol's done and all that, but he's never going to come back. But in my head, I'm like, yeah.
The transplant, but that was your family, wasn't it?
Yeah, my nephew.
You know, how long did that take to actually find?
In the end, when they said to me after about a year, look, you're going to need a transplant, I remember I woke up, because I was sleeping for, I've got to say, 12 hours a day, 12, 13 hours a day I'm sleeping, because of fatigue illness. And I woke up one day, my nephew's sitting on the couch next to me. I remember saying, nephew, what are you doing here? He said, oh, uncle, yeah, I just come up to see you, see how you're getting on. He said, I need to talk to you. I said, what's that? He said, I want to donate my kidney to you, because I can't see you like this anymore. I'm like, nah, you're too young for that. He said, nah, I made my mind up. I said, I look at you now, from what you was playing football and to where you are now. He said, I can't see you like this no more, unks. I mean, what he's doing to me, I can't see you doing it anymore. I'm like, no, you're too young. And he was adamant. I spoke to my sister, his mum. He said, Andrew, he's made his mind up. That's what he's going to do. He's going to do it. So I can't change him. You can't change him. He's made his mind up. That's exactly what he's going to do. And then had the transplant. Everything went well. I come out after about a week. And then he's left in there because he caught gas in where they took it out.
God, yeah.
So he's in unbelievable pain. He can't move. And I remember saying to myself, I would do anything now to change it all back again. I'll go back ill. He goes back fit. And I'll just go through the process, because my head was all over the place. I mean, I think that was mostly one of the toughest periods of my life, due to the fact that I felt let down by so many people as well. And I mean proper let down, that I went through that process, and I kind of like went through it.
Was that friends or just in the industry, or, you know, the media or just
I didn't
real
expect anything from the media.
real friends, or just
I think real friends. I thought were real friends. My ex, who ended up becoming my ex not too long after that, just being let down because I've never relied on anyone. From the day I left my parents at 14 years of age, I never relied on anyone. I made every decision footballing wise in my career from the age of 14 till I finished at late 30s. I could never turn around and say to anyone, oh, that was a bad decision you made. I made every single decision myself from when I was a kid. And then the only time I actually needed someone to rely on and say, look, this is the time I actually need you, yeah? Everyone kind of like cut out. And then certain people start to stand up and say, I'm here for you, man. Whatever you need, yeah, I'm here for you. And that's when I realised, Sol, man, that there's not many real ones out there. And then the ones that stand up for you when you're in a bad situation like I was, those are the real ones. So now that the few people that I have around me, those are the few people that I'm with all the time because I know they've seen me through my worst. They've got me through my worst, and they've got me to a period now where I look at myself and say to myself, I never thought I'd be where I am now when I was back there 6, 7 years ago, when I didn't know if tomorrow was coming. I didn't know if I wanted to be here. Didn't want to be here because it was so tough mentally. But you realise those things within life, you know.
If you didn't have the transplant, what was the alternative?
Dialysis.
And is that like 10, 12 hours?
So dialysis is usually a day on, day off.
Oh, so what's a day then?
So a day will consist of, could be on the dialysis machine from anything to 2 to 4 hours in a day. You come off it, and then because it takes so much out of you, because it goes in, it cleans your blood with a solution and all that kind of stuff, it takes you that day to recover, the rest of that day, and then the following day you're recovering from the day that you're on dialysis. And by the time you're half feeling okay,
you're back on it again.
You're back on it. So I've always said to people, dialysis is not a life, it's an existence, because you're recovering daily, you're tired, you're constantly tired. So anyone who's on dialysis, you know, I take my hat off to them because I know what it details. And there's people being on dialysis about 5, 10 years. It's hard. Mentally, it's hard. You know, it's very, very hard. And it's hard anyway. And if you haven't got a good, solid unit around you that are prepared to understand it and want to see you back on your feet, it takes a lot away from here. You know, and it leaves you questioning yourself that, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do if you don't have that support around you? And at that time, my support mechanism just went. It's just like, well, I'm doing my thing now, you do your thing, and I'm just getting on with what I believe is right for me. And that was, like I said, that was the toughest period of my life. And until some of the boys got me back on my feet, my sister was unbelievable, my nephews were, and that's when I realised, okay, if I ever get back on my feet, I see what I've got.
Sometimes friends are enemies and enemies are friends.
Very, very true, and that's what I realised.
Well, you think they're enemies? But
yes.
They actually become friends.
Exactly. The ones that stood up for me, yeah, I'm turning around and saying to myself, if I ever was in a position, I didn't think such and such. But then I realised, it's the totally opposite. Total opposite. People that are held dearly went missing. I just said to myself, all right, cool. I'm an individual, yeah? Yeah, I hold grudges, but I will hold the grudges, I'll do it this way. I prefer not to talk to you. Yeah? So in your head, you'll be guessing, why has he stopped talking to me? But best way for me.
For me, just listening to a story, I knew a little bit about it, but I'm always welling up because, it's so close. You're so close to kind of passing away, and that mental strength you showed, but also finding out who your real friends are.
Yeah.
I think that's important. I think that happens a lot around the world.
Yeah.
And then following that, starting your kidney fund and charitable fund. How do you feel about that? That's a beautiful thing to kind of, you are firsthand. So it's, it's incredible to kind of have someone like you at the front.
when people's perceptions change of individuals, because we're humans, you know, we always make judgment on people. They don't know them, but I don't like him. Do you know? No, I just don't like his mannerisms or whatever. That, I think for me personally, once I started to understand what I was going through, sat down with the people at Kidney Research, and they gave me the opportunity to try and help others in the same position as myself. And I always said, well, how can I possibly help somebody else like myself? I mean, I'm just me. I've got the same issue like everybody else, but everyone kept telling me, Cody, you got a voice. You have a voice. Obviously, you've done what you've done in your career, and people look at that as what you've done in your career, but now you can actually go out there and help others in that same position as yourself. And I thought about it, I toyed with it, and I said, oh, just go for it, man, go for it. I went for it, and the experience I've going through, starting up my own fund, interacting with so many other people in the same position as mine, it's just been mind-boggling. You know, some of the people when...
Mind-blowing as well.
Oh, yeah. When I've sat down and spoke to certain people, they've had me in tears. Don't know that they look at me as if to say, well, if you can come out and talk about it, we can all come out and talk about it. And I always say, well, I'm no different to you, but they say, yeah, but because your profile, you know, people look at you as if to say, oh, he's this or he's that. And I said, I don't really care, because I know my experience of what I've been through and how tough it's been. So if I can help you or somebody else to understand it, that get it off your chest. We need to talk about it, because we're in a position now we feel very vulnerable, because ultimately we are vulnerable, you know. Let us all talk about it, and it's grown and it's grown and it's grown, and I've had so many people open up to me about it, and we've had the conversation, and you know, we've laughed about certain things, and just, I didn't think I could do it, but then I realised I can do it, you know, because I'm no different to anybody else. I mean, I kicked a level ball around for 20 years. Don't make me any different to anybody else, you know. But in this instance, it's just been one of the best experiences I could ever have gone through, to know that I've touched so many hearts. I've raised so much money so far up to date to try and help people in the same position as myself, to the mental well-being of what this kidney disease actually does to you mentally and physically. You know, how tough it is to pick yourself up from rock bottom.
Do you think it's changed you?
Oh, 100%.
The whole, do you look at life in a more positive way?
100%, so man. I mean, all I tell myself basically every day now is, tomorrow's not a given, man. Enjoy today for what it is, because no one's going to give you tomorrow. Yeah, so let's do what we got to do. I'm saying, yeah, there's days when I ain't going to lie, and I'm very honest about it. There's days when there's ups and downs, man. There's days when I don't literally want to get out of bed because I'm so tired. But then I'm saying to myself, how are you going to waste your day? You don't know if tomorrow's going to be here for you. Get up, do something. Get up, go to the gym, get up, make sure you do something. Because I never want to look back now and say, oh, I wish I'd have done that, I've done that. No, whatever I can do, I will do it. If I'm tired, I don't feel good, I'm going to do it.
I've seen some of the gym workouts. They all look good, man.
Yeah.
Look good physio. Who's the guy who does the chiropractor?
Yeah.
So many tattoos
he's
over
good,
him. Tattoo artist, isn't he?
Exactly. He's a good guy, but I've just made my mind up that do it. Do what you have to do now. It's as simple as that.